Hi, everybody, and welcome to another Conversations With. And I'm delighted today to have my good friend Richard Morco with me. And we're here today, and we're having another little snow day. But I went out today, it was kind of light and fluffy, and that's good. And now it's over 33, so it's kind of
Life is
fizzling
good.
out.
Life is good. It's not as bad as the deep freeze,
No.
but I love your cap.
Oh.
This is going to be the Scottish owl. Hutman,
Yeah.
Hutman. We're going to be doing the Heen and Fling soon.
But the only trouble is, this is from Dublin.
Oh, well, it's plaid.
You know, yeah, it's from Dublin. It's a Black Watch plaid.
The Black Watch.
And I think,
where's the Black Watch? Where's that regiment?
well, I know where that is, but this is from Hannah Hats
Hannah Hats.
of Donegal Limited, Donegal Town Island,
The Irish
pure
have-
new wool.
The Irish have to make the head caps for the Scots. What can I
Well,
say?
what do you tell you?
It's nothing
anyway,
you want to get killed over.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite hat. I get more good compliments about my tam.
It's a lovely hat.
Yes, my little tam. So keeps me out of trouble. I got that when I was over in Ireland. I saw that in the store and couldn't resist.
And
Couldn't resist.
I can understand why.
So we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
We have a senatorial race brewing in the state for this district. We have, in fact, I had Stephen here the other day. We had a nice little chat, and he'll be running against Senator Goby, and so that's going to be interesting. Stephen is he's an administrator of assisted living properties and nursing facilities and so forth, and very bright guy. And he was saying that he feels that the time has come to get a Republican in the district.
So he's tired of doing honest work, and he wants to be a state senator.
Yeah.
I got it. I
You got
understand.
it. You got it. Okay.
Well, Ann is going to be tough to beat because whatever you want to say about her, she does pay attention to constituents.
She does.
And that makes her hard to beat. And, you know, people don't, how much they really care about the, quote, issues.
Yeah.
So we'll find
Well, you
out.
know, it's funny you say that because she succeeded Stephen Brewer,
Yep.
who Senator Moore they were great pals. They used to sit next to each other. And I knew Senator Moore very well, still do. And Senator Moore used to say, Steve Brewer is the only person he's ever met that would attend the opening of an envelope. And he was right.
That is true. Remember a very minor, when I was a library trustees, not a
Right.
convention, but a regional meeting. And Mr. Brewer was there.
Yeah.
And we all had our name tags. His eyesight might be better than mine, which isn't
Yeah.
rough, but I could see him straining to see me. And then he comes out, "Hi, Richard, how's it going?" You know,
Yeah.
he all but French kissed me as if
Yeah.
I was a long lost relative,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So he was perfect at that.
He was, and you know, there's a downside to that story. Steve and I were great friends. I knew him when Senator Wetmore was the senator. He was Senator Wetmore's aide.
Yeah.
And when I owned WARE, Senator Wetmore used to do the talk show we had. So Steve and I go way back. He and I were chatting after he announced he wasn't going to run. I had called him up and said, "Hey, I got to talk to you." And I said, "How you doing?" and so forth. And he was very disappointed. He thought he had the votes to be president of the Senate, didn't have them, and time was to move on. But he said a wistful thing to me. I said, "Steve, people love you. I mean, Republicans couldn't wait to vote for you." I had him at the Sturbridge Rotary Club many times when I was a member there, and friends of mine who were diehard Republicans would hug him, loved him, because he was so constituent oriented.
Exactly.
And he went to every parade, every meeting,
Every envelope.
every envelope. And the
Yeah.
interesting thing was he looked at me and he says, "Dick, I look back and I'm not sorry about what I did, but I'm heartbroken about what happened." And he says, "I have two beautiful daughters, and they were 2 and 4 when I got elected. And I looked at them the other night, and they're both in college, and I never saw them grow up." He says, "I spent my whole life going to meetings, opening envelopes."
Yeah.
And he said, "All of a sudden, my beautiful girls are in college." And I looked at my wife and I said, they're adults. Where did they? And she just We looked at each other with tears in our eyes. So there's a downside to being the consummate politician. And to your point about Senator Goby, she said to me, she says, you know, Steve told me, she says, I just don't think I can do what he did. She says, because I have to go home at night and have supper. You know, but she said, and of course, her good fortune is she did serve 11 of the 28 towns as a rep for many years.
Yep.
So she has a strong base.
Exactly.
And I remember, I'll tell you the story. I remember my good friend James Earhart came to see me when he was going to run. We had a long talk, and he asked me, would I give him some advice? And I said, yes, I will. And the first thing I said to him was, whatever you do, do not attack Senator Brewer. You tell people why you want to be in, what you can bring to the seat, how you can do a better job, what action or bills you'd fight and take and work for, but don't attack him. And he invited me to his first event, and I went to his first event, and the first 6 words out of his mouth, he attacked Senator Brewer, you know, and he never could get untracked, you know, and I have a great respect for Jim, nice guy, great lawyer, but you know, politically, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
You know, and I've had, like I said, Seti Warren's been here. I've invited Bob Massey, who's running for governor, and I said to Warren when he was here, he and I were chatting, I said, you're running against one of the most popular governors we've ever had. Don't knock him around. Tell us what you're going to do differently, what you're going to do better. If you can put better tracks under the trains for the MTA, tell us about that. But don't criticize the governor. You know, he's popular. You know.
Yes, he is.
You know, but anyway, it'll be interesting because I'm one of these people who strongly believes that no seat, even a library trustee, should go uncontested. And sadly, in most communities, that's what's really happening.
That is.
People just don't want to be bothered anymore.
And I didn't want to be a library trustee, but they more or less say, hey, your kids use the library a lot.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And so I did. I served quite a few years.
You know, and you know, as I said to you in an email, they have this. They formed a committee in town, a Charlton Traffic Safety Committee. Well, I had the great fortune of being Commissioner of Highway Safety, appointed by Governor Volpe, reappointed by Sargent, and reappointed by Dukakis, and then Dukakis sent me to the registry. I wrote, or helped write, one of 2 or 3 people who wrote the first seatbelt safety bill, the first drunk driving bill. So I've been there, and so someone mentioned it to me, and I said sure. So I'm on that now, and I'm glad to be on it because the biggest single problem we have, and I'm going to tell you folks out there right now, I'm going to look right at the camera, slow down, stop speeding. When it says 40, go 40 or less, you know. And you know, I was talking to a friend of mine in the state police, and he brought up a great point. The Massachusetts Turnpike was built in 1955 and finished in 1957. Took them 2 years. In 1957, when it opened in May of 1957. There was no SUVs. There was no minivans. There was no double tandem trucks or buses. We had automobiles that were low to the ground that had big, heavy chrome bumpers.
Yep.
And the exit ramps were built for those automobiles.
Yep.
When the turnpike trooper said to me, we have signs up that says 25 miles per hour. Do people really think we had a plethora of 25-mile-an-hour signs that we didn't know what to do with, so we decided to put them there? He says, because if you don't go 25, and every single morning on the Massachusetts Turnpike or on 495 or on 91 exit ramps, there's a rollover or 2 or 3 or 4. Buses roll over, you know, and they're always minivans. The other problem is the guardrails were all built for those cars, and they're low. So if you hit them with a van or an SUV, you're in the woods. It flips you right over because they're top heavy. And in fact, if you look at your visor, it tells you that. If you pull your visor down, it says, this car will tip over if you go too fast around a corner. And they do. Yeah. And the trooper says, And you said, well, was it 20? When we get to the accident, and they go, well, I can't believe it. Well, it said 25. He said, the problem is they're shooting down the turnpike at 70, 75 miles an hour, and they hit those ramps doing 50, and it's all over but the cheering.
That's very true, and it's hard not to. I mean, the Pike is a fast road.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's no question. And but one of my gripes, as I've said to you before, is the troopers who aren't turnpike. The troopers on the Pike have E-plates. The guys with straight numbers, they're from the barracks. And either they're going to work or they're going home from work. And when they go whistling down the Pike with no lights on at 75 and 80 miles an hour in the car that you and I are paying for, and they're beating that up, and then the gas they're using because they're going that fast that you and I are paying for. And when I asked him why, he said, because we can. Who's going to stop us?
That's true.
But what a message they send. What a message they send to the guy that's doing 65. Anyway, we have a lot to talk about. Our president.
He's healthy and he's sane.
Yeah,
We learned
that's
that.
right. Well, yeah, he's doing
All
great.
the people who said he was crazy, well,
He just proved that.
yeah,
He just proved he's not crazy. You know, he may do crazy things,
like a fox.
you know, but it's going to be very, very interesting as we head to the midterm elections to see what effect, if any, his, as some see it, bizarre behavior, as others see it, wonderful, excellent management skills, affect.
Well, you know the guy Dilbert, who does the Dilbert cartoon.
Yeah.
He also writes books. Scott
Yeah.
Adams. He says Trump is playing four-dimensional chess. That whenever he does something that looks bizarre, and later on, it'll turn around right, and that's happened a few times.
Oh, he denies it. He says, I never did that.
Yeah, but it comes out he gets his way
Yeah.
on something. Now, he had the big meeting after the book came out. The
Yeah.
Wolf book came out.
Mr. Bannon, yeah, his
And
buddy, his
Bannon, yeah,
big pal.
where they said he was, he didn't deserve. He was flying. He was crazy.
Yeah.
And he holds a meeting where he acts very presidential, and is conciliatory
Yeah.
to the left,
Oh,
to
yeah.
the right.
Oh, we can make this happen. Let's do it. Look at you guys. We're on the same plank here. Let's go.
2 days later, he has a meeting where nobody's allowed in, but somebody says, you know what he said? It's a word that we all know the word, but,
Yeah.
but it's not, quote, presidential. Now, he says he didn't. A few people say he didn't. So it's
Well,
not-
two guys said they didn't hear anything. They were too far away.
One
And then
woman-
2 days later, they said, oh, yeah, we heard it.
So,
He didn't say that.
So, whether he did or he didn't, is this something he did so he can get cover not to do the DACA deal? Because what's in the upside for him to do the DACA deal? There's no upside for him. So is he being cute? And they get out, we can't deal with this guy, he's a terrible guy, and there he is. Nice, I got them. Maybe, or maybe he's just a nut. Not.
Well, I mean,
not
one of the
good.
things that I was watching a program the other night, and one of the analysts made an excellent observation. They were talking about the wall, and he now wants that wall included, or there's no DACA deal.
Yeah.
And it's $18 million or $18 billion, whatever it's going to cost. $18 billion, I think it is. And he said, I campaigned on that, and I'm going to keep my word. And this fellow said, oh, no, you didn't, Mr. President. What you campaigned on was that there was going to be a wall built, but Mexico was going to pay for it. You didn't tell us that we were going to pay $18 billion for it. So it was a point well taken, but Trump has a great ability. Now, I'm talking as a politician mastermind that sits and plans strategies for politicians, which I've had the joy or misfortune to do in my life. However, having said that, he has a great ability to, when he does something and says that, to turn around and say, well, I campaigned on this and we're going to do it. And disregard the fact that he really did say Mexico. You haven't heard Mexico mentioned by him. Hasn't mentioned it. It's going to be built and it's going to be part of DACA and we're going to do it.
Now, if the wall goes up, and We pay for it.
They're going to climb over it.
How are they going to climb over it?
It's easy. How high can he build it?
There's a very.
They can go under it. They got tunnels down there.
It's not possible. There's a wall the Israelis have built that is absolutely secure. You can make a secure wall. But even if it isn't perfectly secure, if it's up, the symbolism of his base will accept it.
Well, but I mean, but then they're going to hammer him on, but we paid for it. Mexico
So,
didn't.
The symbol is the wall. It's not who paid for it. And you know what he can say? He can say, okay, we've frozen out Mexicans. Now, there's X amount, or Guatemalans or whoever, there's X amount of social spending that Mexicans and other
Yeah.
foreigners get that they're now not getting, and they are thus paying for the wall.
Right.
He will find something.
And there's less drugs coming in here.
And there's less drugs. I don't, you know, if
But I said to you, he's got a
drug-
great knack of saying something and then a week later denying he said it
Yeah.
and getting away with it.
Yeah, and do you think Obama didn't do that?
Oh, that's
You
not what I'm
think
talking
Bush and
But time out, time
Bush,
out.
amazing.
Time out. We're not talking about them. They're gone.
Yeah.
We're talking about Trump. Everybody plays that game with me. Well, but Obama did it. Well, I mean, he turned around and blamed Obama for the embassy in London, and Bush was the one who did it.
It doesn't matter.
I know it doesn't.
You know, he's doing what everybody else did, and he's doing it well.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'm amazed with all that he's done that he's still in office. So you're right. He's done well.
Well, what has he done that's actually impeachable?
Nothing. But my point is, lesser people have resigned over things less than that. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, now he's got some honey that came out of the woodwork, some porn dandy, saying they gave him she got 130 grand the week before the election to keep quiet.
And she denies it. She has denied it.
Yeah.
Well,
because she's got a contract that says she has to.
No, she says she doesn't have to say anything. The NDA doesn't say you have to stand up
No.
and go before the cameras and say I didn't do it. It just says you keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
So she didn't have to say anything.
No.
So I mean, it's a heck of a thing to think
But the point is that the thing is that and you'd have to agree with me, versus normal presidencies, or other presidencies. Let me rephrase that: other presidencies. There's not a day goes by that some newspaper, some television station, somebody doesn't drag up something else that he did or is going to do or said or didn't say, etc. I mean, the challenges to him are unbelievable. I mean, let me be honest. If I could have, if he offered me the job, I would turn it down to be in his inner circle to defend this stuff, because it's every day. How that lady gets out there and with a straight face says the thing she says at a press conference is amazing.
Okay, now you have to admit, you know, I hate to bring this up, but you remember what's his name in the Clinton administration? What's the guy's name? He did that beautifully.
They all do it.
So, you know, plus ça change, plus the même chose.
Yeah. I mean, they all. Pierre Salinger was great for Jack Kennedy.
Pierre Salinger had somebody who was pretty sharp to work with, you know. So
Yeah.
Not that Trump isn't sharp, but
Yeah.
Kennedy was wonderful to work with.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He was bright guy,
Yeah.
and he knew the game. But the point is that it's. I just sit back intrigued, and I say, and I look and say, and he's getting away with it.
Yeah.
He's getting away with it, and that's what intrigues me, because having been in some of those political battles and political wars, sometimes you can get caught with your pants down, and boy, it's tough to get to be able to spin it. He doesn't even spin it; he just denies it.
Well, that's you know, it's not something like he's made a mistake. I believe a good deal of it is a strategy. Say the most outrageous thing, and watch them go screaming, "Did you hear what he said?" And then
Well,
say,
I'll tell you one thing he's done. He's in the papers And on
you go.
television, 24/7,
Yeah.
everything is Trump, 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 Trump.
And what James Michael Curley said, speak well of me if you can, ill of me if you must, but speak of me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He got elected, he was in jail. He was in jail, got elected.
Yeah.
Mayor of Boston.
Yeah. He got elected. He did that
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah,
The first time for taking an exam for somebody.
yeah.
And he said his campaign slogan was, he did it for a friend.
Yeah.
Now, that's not good. You know, it's corrupt, but it worked.
Of course it worked. Did it
Couldn't
for a
be so
friend.
brilliant.
Yeah. But anyway, it's absolutely intriguing to watch the whole thing. And I can't wait for election night to see what happens with the Senate and the House.
You know, everybody says it's going to flip. I have to see that.
Oh, I'm not that convinced.
No.
There's only 2 seats, but there are more solid Republicans up for re-election than there are Democrats.
Yeah.
So there are 3 or 4 swing seats that could go either way, and they depend on primaries.
Yeah.
So you won't be able to really tell to see who survives those primaries. Then we have another interesting situation. We have a young man who's become a young lady who was in the military who is running for senator from Maryland,
Yep. Chelsea Manning.
Chelsea Manning. That's going to be intriguing to watch.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think he'll win, or I don't think she'll win. But, you know,
Stranger things have happened.
yeah. And she's not, she has taken quite the stand. She believes in what she did, sending the stuff to Assange.
Yeah.
And, you know, people claim that people died over it, but they can't offer any proof.
No. No. And I mean, look, when you're in war, people die.
Yeah, they do.
You know, I mean, what was the cause? Somebody else's bullet, usually, or a bomb that was hidden in the road, or, you know, or whatever.
And we have a situation where people did die because of intel, and the CIA lost a number of agents because a Chinese American, I believe 2nd or 3rd generation Chinese American, working for the CIA, a citizen, betrayed a lot of agents
Oh yeah.
in China, and nobody's making a thing about that.
Well, I saw it today that they're after him.
Well, they got it. They got him, but
Yeah.
there's only one crime in the United States that's punishable by, constitutionally, that's punishable by death, and that's treason. And
Yeah.
when was the last time we executed somebody? That was the Rosenbergs.
Yeah. Yep. So it's going to be see what they do with this fella. You know, but you know, with today's technology, everybody knows what everybody else is. You know, I was sitting there this morning, and I get emails because Google tracks everything I do,
Yes.
and they turn around and sell me to companies. And I get these things every morning. New mortgage, car insurance. The other day, I got a thing from Liberty Mutual, and my car insurance is higher than I think it should be. I told you the story. I moved from Sturbridge to Charlton, went up $200 because Charlton is more expensive.
Because of the hike.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm always conscious of that. So I got this thing from Liberty Mutual. We'll save you $500. Oh, okay. So I filled out the little form. Well, I paid last year $2,600 and some odd dollars for the 2 cars and the house with the company I have. They were going to save me $500. You know what their price was? $3,900 for what I have. So I stopped worrying about that now. You know, so that was that deal. And they keep sending me
Yeah, it
stuff.
happens.
We want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. No, you're not hearing from me. But what happens is there's no such thing as privacy anymore.
No.
Because of computers.
Yep.
There's nothing. They know everything you do.
Yep.
They know, like for instance, I buy a lot of things from a company called Peterman, J. Peterman.
Yeah.
And I've got a pair of corduroys that he used to have an outlet store in Manchester, Vermont, when I had my radio station there. And 25 years ago, I bought a pair of blue cords that were in his outlet, and I still have them, and I still wear them, and they're incredible. And he has very quality stuff. So I buy things from him. Every time I look at anything online, if I go to see Google News, I get all these little sidebars.
Yep.
Corduroy pants. They found out that I bought 2 pair of corduroy pants from Peterman. And so every company that makes corduroy pants keeps sending me things for corduroy pants. And I'm saying to myself, how do they know? And it dawns on me.
I know how they know. I know how they know. They're watching us.
Oh, okay, and they see them on there.
Yes.
But you see what I'm saying? It's unbelievable.
Everything they know about
There's
it.
no such thing as privacy.
There isn't. And the NSA, you know what they say about that? That's the only agency of government that's listening to you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh, I get all those ads too.
You get them, you
Yeah.
get them. And here's the biggest problem I have. And I'm saying to myself, my credit rating is 841. You only can be 850.
Yep.
There's not a day goes by that I don't get at least 2 or 3 requests in the mail for a credit card.
Yep.
Your credit is wonderful, Mr. Vaughn, and we can give you. And I say, they even get into those credit companies, find out who's got good credit ratings, and badger them.
They do. Yeah. I used to joke, well, I get about at least £1 a week of credit card applications.
Well, you know what the newest thing is now? Now they got these companies that call the cell phones. Well, what they used to do is they call these 800. You wouldn't answer them. Well, now they get a 774 number, which is a low. So you think it's somebody you know,
Yeah.
and you answer it. I got this company that's been calling me for months, and the first time I heard it, I laughed. I said, "Your Jeep Cherokee is out of warranty." Well, I haven't got the Jeep anymore. I traded that in 2 years ago. But that's what they got. And I wouldn't. Now I knew the number. It was 209-5537-774. I don't answer them. I open the phone and shut it. You know when they call me now. Guess what happened? They call me. I got a new phone number came in today, 774, whatever it was, a different number. And I listened to it. It's the same guy. Your Jeep Grand Cherokee warranty, Mr. Vaughn, is out of style, is out of care. You need to call us right away so we can extend you a warranty. They changed when they realized what I was doing to them. They changed the
Yeah,
number.
they probably have hundreds of those numbers.
Oh yeah, they do. And you say to yourself,
You can't escape.
can't. And so the tragedy is there's no such thing as privacy anymore.
No, that is true. If you're gonna toss the cell phone in the river, and toss the computer in the river, and go live as a hermit, or otherwise you are known to them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Cut up
Yep.
the credit cards, everything.
Oh, and the things they send you to your email address.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I get half of the. I mean, I get these. Mine's broken down into my regular email from people. Then it says there's 2 little bars. One is
Promotions.
promotions. Yeah, I get a promotion. And
And
social,
yeah.
social and promotion.
That's a Gmail account.
So my promotions, I must get 20 a day.
Yep.
20 a day come in, and I say, how do they find me? You know, but it's
It's an algorithm.
But
That's what
I bought something somewhere, and that company sold me. You know, and I would think, why would a guy that sells me corduroy pants sell me to some other guy who sells corduroy pants?
Because he can.
Oh, I understand that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't ever sell. One of the great things I used to hate about radio is I couldn't hide my advertisers. Because one of the things I used to do when I took over a station in the marketplace, I would hire 5 or 6 kids and pay them $10 an hour to listen to my competitive radio stations and write down every commercial they heard so my salesman could follow up. So that's what I mean. I did it myself.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
so I knew everybody that was on the air at every station. You know,
Way to do it.
but anyway, so I guess we finished another day.
We have. Yes.
And-
And we didn't exhaust
No.
all that we could have.
Oh, we could talk forever. In
Yes.
fact, You know, but maybe fortunately or unfortunately, we're only on once a month.
Yeah, well,
Maybe that's the good thing.
we'll talk to our polling organization and find out about
You got
that.
it. Richard, thanks a bunch.
Thank
There
you.
you are, folks. That's another Conversations With.